Happy Friday, everybody. It's Tisha out of Arizona, and we've got Nate Flood. And our special guest is CHUKWUYENUM Omenogor, and he was a legal practitioner with his own firm. He's a managing partner of C. Omenogor and Associates, and he's out of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we were having some technical difficulties, so hopefully he's watching through the live stream and we'll go ahead and add some insight there. But we thought we'd have a little fun. Sometimes, with live, it gets a little crazy. Would you agree, Nate? Like it's got a fly by the seat of your pants kind of day today.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, we're doing wonderful today. That's just life. We'll just have to adapt.
Doing wonderful. Adapt, of course. That's always been the big word. Adapt and figure it out. Okay, so in honor of CHUKWUYENUM and him not being able to be with us today, awesome if he can make it. But I thought it would be a fun treat if I interview Mr. Nate in the hot seat.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go with it. I'm ready. Let's do this.
He's ready. Okay, all right, folks. So CHUKWUYENUM sent us quite a few questions. And in preparation for all of our casual convo Fridays, we love asking people to dive in, ask some questions. And since we are literally flying by the seat, I was like, Nate, I'm just going to ask you the questions that CHUKWUYENUM had provided to us so we can start that dialogue and get you all engaged in the conversation with us. So here we go. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So we are talking today about career paths and goals that we've set for ourselves, and just, do you know if you're on the right path? So what are some steps to determine if you are on the right path, if you're heading in the right direction of your life? What would you say to that, Nate?
I think that's a question everybody asks themselves, especially when they're 18, right? Everybody says you got to go to college and you got to figure out what in the world you want to do when you never left your hometown. That was something. I went to school in the beginning there, and I left after like a year and a half. I was just like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, I'm just wasting money. So I went and just started working. I think the big thing about deciding on if you're on the right path or not is just, first of all, do you enjoy what you're doing? And even if you're in the early stages where you're having to do the grind like everybody has to, you're at the bottom end of the ladder there. But do you enjoy what you're doing, and do you enjoy where it can go? Another thing too is looking at what's ahead of you. I remember I was working a job one time, and at this particular company, I looked up and one day and I was just like, there's only two places above me, and one of them is the owner. And it's just like, where am I on the right career path? Like, is this really going to take me to where I want to go? And that was kind of right before I joined the Army. It was just like, yeah, I'm going to go figure something out. So it's really just looking at how do you feel about where you're at. And that's always just a key point, because if you're not happy, if it's not something you enjoy doing, what's the point of doing it? We only got a certain amount of time on this world, so.
I have to say the same thing, and I'll just piggyback on that. I worked for an ad agency straight out of college, and I remember the first job I ever got, I was the girl who was like, give me more work, and I had another employee who was like, don't give me the work. Like, I just want the bare minimum. And you start to feel like, what the hell? Like, come on. Like, I'm a good worker. I know what I'm capable of, but that doesn't mean bury me while the other person gets off scot-free. And I ended up leaving that position because I'm like, I'm not getting paid anymore. I just have more responsibilities versus other people who have the same job as me, who are just, passing the time. And I think we find that a lot in organizations. And then jumping into my next job, same kind of deal where I like you, Nate, like I knew that there wasn't anywhere else to go. And I think when we find ourselves in, we want more of that challenge, then it's apparent to us too, we've got to make the change. And maybe that change is leaving this organization and doing something different, because there is no advancement and you've really got to trust your gut.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I mean, a lot of it is going with your gut, right? Because nobody knows. I can't tell you what the next 5 years really hold for me. I mean, we've got it planned out at our business and whatnot, but nobody knows how that's going to play out. Things may change drastically in 12 months, 18 months, whatever. But that goes with things like I said, if you're not happy, if it doesn't feel good to go to work, then what's going to go to work? Now, obviously, there's always those times where you just got to get out there and get the paycheck, pay your bills, and that's just life. But,
Yeah.
Looking past that, like, where do you want to be? How long do you need to just get that paycheck to pay your bills? What's your plan for getting past that? You never want to just end up stuck there. Like, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people end up just stuck because they're afraid to go do something different. But me personally, I've always just been like, whatever, I'll figure it out. I'm just going to go with it. That's why I've had about 15 different career paths at this point. I've worked in every industry you can think of, just about. IT, shipping, manufacturing. I mean, I used to build school buses at one point in my life. So,
What?
yeah. I definitely found out I didn't want to do that for the rest of my days. But, no, I mean, I've been in the military. I've been in the auto industry on both retail and wholesale. I've done e-commerce, everything in the world in IT. I've done cyber forensics, cybersecurity, web development. I've done it all, and I finally found that the thing that I enjoy doing the most is creating efficiency for businesses and organizations. That was the thing. I'm a systems guy. I've always been that way, right? Like I just love diving into it. So that was kind of how I stumbled upon my career path. I just kept trying different systems out until I found one that I liked. In essence, because it's all business is, it's just one big system, made up of little systems. But when I finally got into that mode, that was just kind of where I ended up. But I'd love to hear about how you got to where you are. I mean, public speaking, that's the traditional business point, right? I told you.
Okay. I know we're putting each other in the hot seat. So this is great. I love just speaking on the fly. Well, let's see. I was going to say that I think you also know when it's time for a change, when you find yourself day drinking on your lunch hour. I remember my last job, I kid you not, I had a boss who, I am a very people-to-people person. I love people. And I was on this project, and it was you and I both do like advertising, marketing, things like that. I was on this project working with one of our clients because we were creating a commercial, and they wanted to utilize it. It was for a senior living community, adult living community, and the people I had to work with the residents that lived at this community to make it more authentic and real. And I made such great friends with all of these 60, 70-year-olds that one of them made me a tiramisu. She's like, Tisha, I have a tiramisu for you. I want to give it to you. She was a cute little Italian woman. She put way too much alcohol in that sucker, but she gave it to me, and I was so amazed. I was so happy. I was like, this is the sweetest thing. Thank you. It was just her thank you gift for being on site and on location and shooting this commercial. And I remember my boss coming in and just being livid. And he's like, that is not okay. You cannot accept tiramisu. You should return that. And I'm like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? And I was like, psh, like I turned around, and I remember going to like the Mi Amigos or, some Mexican restaurant across the street. And I was like, order me up a margarita. This has been one of those days where I don't know if I'm going to last here.
Yeah.
I was so upset that I already had it in my head that I was like, I got to get the heck out of Dodge. Like, I don't like this. I don't like this environment. If you are not into meeting people like I am into meeting people, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And shortly after, Nate, I was like, I'm done. I quit. And I ended up starting my first company, Simply Put Marketing. And then later on starting an event management company called Details Event Management, and then having my son in 2008, which of course, bad economy, and then being thrust into leading other mom entrepreneurs nationally through some groups and masterminds and live events that I was hosting. And then you've probably seen, like, then I fell into my funk in 2015. It was like, what am I doing here? And just like you said, you've had 15 career paths. I haven't had 15. I have not caught up to you there. But I will say I've had a lot of trial and error, and that's what people have in life.
Yeah.
Where you started is not where you're going to end up. And it's absolutely okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, I say career path. It was more of I'm always just kind of just taking opportunities, and I always just try to get the most out of the opportunities that I had before me. Whether it was contracting for Department of Defense, whether it was in the military, doing in the car business, like just trying to learn as much as I could. Even the crappy jobs like in the manufacturing business that has helped me tremendously in the business I do now because I got that inside look at a company that I worked for that was just terribly inefficient. Like it was bad. I mean, they would have millions of dollars of product sitting out in this thing called the boneyard. It was literally just hundreds of school buses in a gravel pit waiting for. I mean, they paid me 60 hours of overtime every week to go out there and add the stuff to them so that they could ship them out. Like,
Oh.
like that was the amount of efficiency. And when I was 18, I was just like, whatever, I'm getting my paycheck. But looking at it now, like doing the work that I'm doing now and weeding out efficiencies, right? Just looking at that business, like they could have easily made millions and millions of dollars more if they'd just been a little more efficient. If they'd been a little bit better at tracking stuff, things like that. So it's all those opportunities that have led up to where I am now. Just like yourself, it's I think too many people get so caught up in this. I've got to have this detailed plan that goes 100% right, and that's my path that I'm on. And the world says, yeah, screw your plan.
So I'm thinking about in my first book that I released back in 2010, when the universe throws a curveball, the very first paragraph that I write is, I'm on a plan. I'm going to have 2 kids by the age of 35, married at this age, having a business, everything's established, everything's going amazing. Like, life is perfect. And I was like, shh. Yeah, that plan right out the window. Like, I started a marketing company in 2004, and I was like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, this is so cool. I love this. Like, I had my souped up Altima. I was like, this is amazing. And was making a lot of money and was like, just, really everything was going according to plan. And then 2008, I found myself, like I said, pregnant with my first son, and the economy tanking, and me going, what do I do now? Like, clients are leaving, and not because they're leaving because they didn't like me, leaving because they're filing for bankruptcy and closing the doors.
Oh yeah.
And you're right. Like, I think that what we can instill with the audience today is that if you are trying to come up with the perfect plan, your perfect plan, you sometimes just need to throw out the window. Like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, 100%. And sometimes it doesn't even necessarily mean that you have to make a drastic change. Like, sometimes I've seen people, like, their plan is okay, and they're kind of loosely weeding their way through it and everything, but like the company or the organization they're working for just is not allowing them to grow like they want to. And so they just need to find a similar place to go, but somewhere else, right? And then they're thriving. It's almost like when you see stellar athletes play for one team, and they're just not getting any type of playing time, or they're in the wrong system, or what. Like, it's just not working. And then all of a sudden, mid-career, their contract's up, and they switch to a different team, and all of a sudden they're a superstar. Like, there's tons of guys that are that way. And so there's nothing wrong with diverting that path of yours a little bit there. Just, you don't necessarily have to say, well, the marketing thing's not working for me, I'm going to go do sales or whatever. You don't necessarily have to do a drastic change. Sometimes it's just a little tweak here and there.
I agree. I think that a lot of times it's the culture that you find yourself in, it's the environment that you find yourself in, and honestly, the people. I mean, I only worked for 2 companies outside of college, and I hate when people say, we have an open door policy here. Like, come talk to us anytime. Like, we love our employees, and then you go in and they're like, shut up. Stop talking. I don't want to hear it. I don't want the drama. And I'm like, what drama? Like, I'm just telling you how I feel about the situation, or like, I thought this was an open door policy, and it doesn't exist in some places. And I'm like, then stop saying it. You don't believe in it, stop saying it.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing, is like, sometimes you go in there and you kind of rock the boat a little bit too much, and then you find out real quick nobody likes it. Nobody's trying to get wet. So
I have this feeling, Nate, that you rocked the boat a lot in whatever you were doing. You were not the sit still, be quiet, just go with it. You're like, no, this is how it's going to go.
No, I've been fired numerous times for rocking the boat. I mean, that's just life.
You're such a rebel, such a rebel. All right, so here's a great question again that CHUKWUYENUM had asked for us to ask him.
Sure.
But what do you say to someone who is just about ready to give up? Like they've lost hope, their confidence is shot. I mean, I'd love to hear what you'd say because I've been in those shoes too, where I'm like, oh, what the heck am I doing here? Like, please enlighten me with what you would say. Enlighten our audience. By the way, I can't see any of the comments. So if you are leaving comments, I don't know, Nate, if we're able to showcase, or do you see the comments?
Well, David Wilson here said amen.
Amen, Dave.
What
David.
we're talking about. And most people are just saying hi and things like that.
So I cannot see the comments on my end, but Nate will say hi to you.
Yeah, hi David. How are you?
But thank you guys for tuning in with us this morning. We've had a couple shares of tech challenges. We're using a different streaming service too than we usually do. So it's just all sorts of fun this Friday.
Oh yeah, definitely. In terms of talking to somebody who's trying to give up, the thing about that is everybody's been there, whether they want to admit it or not. Everybody's always like, I've never thought about quitting. I've always won. But this just lies. Somewhere in your subconscious at some point, you went into a mode where it's like, this ain't working. I'm a failure. It sucks. It's whatever. And the thing about that is I always tell people, that's a time where you just pick something that you can control and you get that first little win, right? Like that's the big thing. Is like just get that damn win that you need in your life, because that's all you need is a win. And then that confidence comes up, right? Because we've all been there. Like I've been in business 5 years. I've had the sales coming in where I couldn't control the amount of work coming in, and I've had them just hit rock bottom. Like, especially in the winter months, our business always just like drops down because it's not season and stuff, right? It's end of the year, people closing their books, stuff like that. And so, it's always during those times where you start thinking to yourself, like, man, I hate this business.
Damn this business.
During the summer, but during the winter months, you're just like, oh, I hate this business so much. Because that's when the bills are showing, and you're just like, there's like this little coming in, and then there's this whole big, going out, and it's just like, all right. But no, I mean, the number one thing I've always told people is just pick the direction to go, and then just grab a string and just keep pulling till you get the win, and just get that win. If it's a small job, or if it's you're getting an interview, like if you're searching for a job, like maybe you just got laid off, and you're just get an interview. Like it may not lead to a job that you want, just get an interview and get it out of your system. Just go talk to somebody. I've actually gotten a job before where I went to interview for one company, and we determined I was not going to be a good fit, but he knew somebody who needed somebody like me. And so he put me in touch with them, and then I ended up working for them for about 9 months or whatever. This is back when I was, young, but you never know what opportunities are out there. So you just need to grab that little bit of confidence, get that little win, and just go with it, and just go from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity. A lot of times people, they look at that dauntingness of just the unknown that hits you, and that's what makes you give up, right? That's what makes you want to. If you're not going anywhere, you're stuck, you're going backwards, you got that big hill to climb, and they're just looking at the top. And sometimes you just need to look at that first step. You just got to put your head down and quit looking at the top and just walk. I know I used to be that way, walking in the mountains in Afghanistan. I'd just be like, yeah, that peak's a false peak. I'm not even going to look up there. I'm just going to look at the ground and walk.
Yeah.
Because it's that way, So that's what I would tell people that are, trying to give up. And I imagine that's pretty similar for everybody. It's just putting it into action and talking about it are two different things. But it's a lot easier than people make it out to be sometimes. If they'll just quit looking at all the stuff going on and just grab that one thing you can get a win on.
Yeah, I would say too that looking at it one day at a time, one step at a time, and as you were sharing, celebrate the wins. Mm-hmm. And please do not let anyone discredit the wins that you have,
No,
because
not at all.
it's, getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth. Like, I hate flossing. I flossed today, Nate. That's a win. I went on a walk this morning because I got up early. That's a win. So make my dentist proud. So that's what I'm saying is look at all of the wins that you're accomplishing. And it doesn't have to be landed the biggest client of my life, but hey, got this client, we're starting to work together, and now we're going to see what happens as a result of that. Those are wins, and so many of us don't take the time to just pat ourselves in the back and say, Tisha, Nate, you're doing a hell of a job. Keep it up. Those wins amount to big things, and we have to keep remembering that. We can't all start off with the big win. We start off with the small steps that accumulate and become that big win for us.
Oh, 100%. Real quick, I'm going to say hi to some of you guys. LinkedIn hasn't set it up to where we can actually message you back through these platforms yet because they're still in, kind of like a beta mode. But, hello to everybody. Hello, Brandon, Gary, Howard. Thanks for your comments. Please keep commenting away. Howard Kaufman actually had this to say about great advice on celebrating the wins. So it's good to know everybody's in agreement here.
So can I say that doing lives is a lot of fun. I never know which way to point. Okay, I'm pointing to the right way.
Yeah.
But usually I'm pointing like this way and it's like off my screen. So cheers, Howard. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we've all got to be celebrating those wins. And I hope this Friday you're celebrating. You're taking the time to celebrate what you've accomplished this week, because that's what builds. And what Nate's saying, that's what's instilling confidence in us on a daily basis is recognizing what our achievements are. And it doesn't have to be something big. I mean, shoot, I just said I flossed, and that was a big one. All right, Nate, so another question for you. What is your position?
Quick, we got David Wilson telling us about a win. I think we should celebrate it here. The whole thing won't show up, but he says his staffing company now for 8 months that he owns, they reached out to an HR company for sales, and she said that she would contact him, stop sending an email, and he just wanted help, and so he sent back an email. Never sent an email. That was his win. I like it.
Way to take action, David. That's awesome. All right, Nate, I love this question. Thank you again for CHUKWUYENUM for asking us these amazing questions, because we're just borrowing them for to be on the call with us today. But what is your position about money and your career?
Money and my career.
Great question.
First of all, David gave me way too much to read there in his comment, but that's okay.
And we'll be looking back. The great thing about this is it's recorded, and I and Nate will always go back and reply to your comments as we watch the replay, because I'm excited. I want to see what you said.
Yeah.
Since I'm sitting in the dark here, Nate's having all the fun with reading people's comments and hellos.
I know, right?
I'll just say hi. All right, Nate. Money and career. Should your career path be based solely on the money?
That's a good question. To me, it was always a matter of what did I need? Like, what were my goals, right? When I was younger, it was just I wanted to learn. Like, I wanted to keep learning, wanted to keep spending my skills, stuff like that. As I got into a relationship with my wife, it became like, okay, now I need to take advantage of opportunities, and we need to collect as much money as possible to set us up, right? So that was the thing. It was during the recession, I went into the Army because our business, like everybody else's, was starting to, feel the bond of a recession. The automotive industry popped just like the housing industry did. And so to me, it was just all right, I'm going to go in the Army. I'm going to collect everything and put everything back, which I did. I put back at least 50% of my salary for 5 years. And the entire time, like I just kept learning stuff. So it gave me an excellent opportunity, like it does a lot of people, to just put back money and learn and take advantage of that huge network that the military does. My next step was contracting. It was solely for money purposes. It was straight up like, hey, here's a year-long contract, sign up, get the money. And all that was being put back in our savings because my wife was taking care of herself here at home. She made enough to cover her while she got her master's degree. We both agreed that when I got out of the Army, we both finished up all of our education. I got my degree, and she wound up with 3 degrees by the time she was done. She's got a master's in business now. Doing all that stuff while we were apart, it sucked being apart, but that was our goals. Our goals was to take care of all that individual growth that we needed to do and set ourselves up for the future. So for me, the money thing has always just been don't just work for the money, but it's to work to attain that goal that you need to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just wanted financial security. And we took advantage of some opportunities that we came across, and a lot of people told us we were crazy for what we were doing because we basically spent 7 years where we didn't see each other a whole lot. I was always I was either in New York or I was in Afghanistan. Like that was it.
Yeah.
She was in Georgia. Some people would look at that and be like, "Oh, you were just money hungry or whatever." But other people would see like, "Oh no, they came with a plan, they executed, and they took advantage of it." Sometimes chasing money leads you to places you don't want to be. I've taken jobs before that had good paychecks, but I hated the job. Like I absolutely hated it. When I first came home, I took a job and I absolutely I hated it. Like I did it for a few months and it was just boring. I wasn't going anywhere. The path of progression for employees wasn't there at all. It was a very small company. And so the money wasn't worth it, the benefits wasn't worth it. It was just miserable. Like you can ask my wife, it was just terrible. So I think the big thing is still just boils down to, do you enjoy what you're doing? The money will come. You know what I mean? Like you may have to go to another company to fully get the value of what you're worth, but the money will come if you just find those opportunities that you enjoy doing and stuff like that.
I think that's the important thing is you've hit on that, is find what you enjoy doing and then find those opportunities, right? Those opportunities do come.
Oh yeah.
So that's a great thing to say too. Like I shared, I don't know if you saw the Rule of Life lesson I put out last Monday, Nate, but I talked about my journey to becoming a professional speaker and how I had for so long just done public speaking, free speaking, any opportunity that came to me, I was like, yes, I'll do it. And it was always, like you said, learning, improving, changing it up, adding to it, improving, until finally, like the first speaking gig I got, I was like, it was a whopping $175. And then I ended up taking my good friend out to lunch. She's like, you just took all the money that you made. I was like, but you don't understand. It took so long to get here. And $175 is amazing. Like when you're used to zero, you're used to getting paid zero for your time and your efforts. And you have to get started somewhere. And now that is like, how do you say it? It's not quadrupled. It's, how would you even say it? It's like, whatever. It's grown exponentially in terms of the amount that I get paid to get up on a stage and speak. But remember, a year or two ago, zero.
Oh yeah.
Zero. So don't make money the goal, but make being a lifelong learner and keep improving and honing your skill. And you're right, those opportunities start to fly in. So I have one last question before we end our Casual Convo Friday. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. My kids love the questions, would you rather?
Yeah.
Have you ever had somebody ask that? Okay, so they asked me this, and it kind of goes to the money situation. But my son said, would you rather sit at home and just make $250,000 a year, or would you rather make $1 million and go to work?
Oh, I'd rather sit at home. I've worked from home for years now, and I thoroughly enjoy. I hate going to the office. Like I hate being in an office setting for the most part. And the reason for that is like I harped on earlier. I am big about efficiency, and but the thing is I'm a talker, right? So if somebody gets me to talking, I won't shut up, and they won't shut up. Before you know it, hours wasted, and you don't get any work done. So you end up having to work from home anyways because you have to take it home with you. So I've just really worked from home. I've been so much more productive working from home in the majority of the time. I know it got a little tough there when the kid was born and he was kind of here, and I was like, I'm not paying for daycare while he's an infant. But other than that though, like I get a lot done. There are days where people call me and stuff, but I enjoy working from home. I'm perfectly happy with. I'd work from home for 60,000 to be quite honest with you. In a lot of cases, just because we don't need it, here in Georgia, it's not like New York or California. It's
Right.
super living. But yeah, I'd totally take that because that would just be peace of mind. Not dealing with traffic, not dealing with millions of people just trying to get to the same place, and you're trying to get there and all that. Just
I'm so happy you said that. I think that's why our values align, because I answered the same way. I'm like, I would much rather take the 250, work from home, or even not even work, but know that I could utilize my skills, my talents to give back. I mean, I would probably even take that, $190,000 and donate it, because I don't need a lot to live. I am a very frugal girl. Mm-hmm. And I think that if anything, COVID has taught us that you can live with less.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, you can live with less.
That's what recessions do, whether you like it or not. It teaches you how to live with less. Not a recession, but I'm just saying, whenever the markets and everything starts going down, everybody starts learning real quick. They kind of have that come to Jesus meeting where they got to assess what's really important.
Right, exactly. All right, well, Nate, thank you for jumping in the hot seat. And we're so sorry that technical difficulties prevented you from being on with us today, so we'll have to try that again when the network gets back up and running. But big thanks to everybody who tuned in to Casual Convo Friday. Nate and I do this every single Friday, except when I'm traveling, because I am unplugging. And same with Nate. And so if you like Casual Convo Friday, please follow along with us at Casual Convo Friday, just checking out who the next guests are. We are always looking for fun guests. So if you have something that you'd like to share, if you'd like to be on our hot seat, that you can reach out to us through a DM and get that scheduled with us. But this honestly came as a result of COVID and us wanting to just collaborate. But he's in Georgia and I'm in Arizona. We've never met in person. But I feel like he's an old friend, Nate. I feel like I've known you for my whole life now.
I have that effect on people. I'm an old soul.
Old soul, kindred spirit. All right. Well, thanks, Nate, for us just doing this on the fly and figuring it out as we go. I think it worked out quite beautifully. So celebrating the win today that we got this done.
And we get up and running on new software and everything. So it worked out.
New software. Yep, exactly. So, all right. We're going to say goodbye. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, be well, and we will see you next Friday.
Yep, y'all have a great weekend. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.